Warren Buffett has two golden rules for investing. Rule number 1. Never lose money. Rule number 2. Never forget rule number 1. I read them, I understood them, and I truly believed I respected them. Unlike many in the crypto space, I never mocked Buffett as an outdated old man. On the contrary, I entered 2025 with the mindset of a strategist, someone with a perfect defensive plan to protect my capital. I was a firm believer in the greater fool theory, the idea that as long as I wasn't the last one holding the burning coal, I would win. But today, I'm sitting here to admit a bitter truth. By trying to bypass Buffett's wisdom with my own technical overconfidence, I watched half my net worth, exactly $100, evaporate into thin air. In this video, I will deconstruct how a rigid defensive system between spot and margin, designed to milk the market, collapsed entirely. This isn't a story about a gambler. It's a story about a knowledgeable player who inadvertently dismantled his own fortress. Why was I so confident? Look at my portfolio. I didn't trade shit coins. I chose Link, the backbone of oracles, AAVE, the king of lending, Sol and AVAX, the heavyweight rivals of Ethereum. These assets have fundamentals, cash flow, and a reason to exist. I applied one consistent strategy across 3 or 4 of these coins simultaneously. I called it the market milking loop. To keep it simple, let's look at my $30 setup with Link. Step 1. I used $20 to buy 1.000 Link at $20 in my spot account. Step 2. I used the remaining $10 as collateral in my margin account to short 450 Link. This provided a liquidation price around $45. The genius of the loop was this. If the price dropped to $18, my margin account gained $1.800. I would close the short, move that profit to spot, and buy more Link. Now I'd have 1.100 LINK. My total value would be $29.800. Even though I was down $200 from my initial $30,000. I didn't care. My goal was to accumulate more coins, waiting for the inevitable moonshot to make me a millionaire, or even a billionaire. If the price rose to $22 or $40, I would simply move 450 Link from spot to margin to repay the debt and close the position. Even at $40, I'd still have 550 Link and my $10 collateral, totaling $32. Whether the market went up or down, I believed I couldn't lose. I thought, as long as I have this short hedge, I'll always be smarter than the panicking crowd. I built a fortress that I thought even Warren Buffett would admire for its defensiveness. But the 2025 market didn't behave like a first-grade math problem. It began with a liquidity drain. Link plummeted from $22 to $20, then bounced to $19 within days. At first, my plan worked. My short was in heavy profit. But this is exactly when the greater fool theory betrayed me. I looked at the chart and started hallucinating. Link at $19 is an absolute steal. I've made $1.350 profit in margin. The crowd is foolish for selling here. I need to be one step ahead. I made my first fatal mistake. I closed my winning short to take profit. But instead of sitting on the sidelines, I pulled a 180-degree turn. I used all that profit to open a long margin position at $19, betting it would hit $22 again so I could flip back to a short. I told myself, Buffett said to be greedy when others are fearful. But I forgot he meant greedy with cash, spot, not leverage. I transformed from a defensive player into a bloodthirsty aggressor. When Link broke support at $17 due to the escalating trade war, panic set in. I had no short left to protect my spot wallet. Both my accounts were now bleeding in the same direction. When my long margin position dropped over 10%, I stood at a life or death crossroads. Do I cut my losses in margin to protect my spot wallet? Or do I feed my spot assets into the fire to hold the position? At that moment, the market continued to slide as China imposed retaliatory tariffs on American goods. But my greed and my ego won the battle. I thought to myself, I still have 1.000 link in spot. I'll move 500 of them into margin as collateral, then borrow more USD to buy another 500 link. When the price finally bounces, the profit will be massive. As the price sank to $15, I doubled down on my mistake. I pushed my remaining 500 link from spot into margin and borrowed even more USD to buy another 500 link. I was convinced the price was already too low, and that my liquidation price at $9 was a safety net that would never be touched. I took the very coins I had promised never to sell, and turned them into a sacrificial lamb for a dying margin position. I had committed the ultimate sin against Buffett's wisdom: never risk what you have and need for what you don't have and want. On the night of October 10, 2025, a massive, long-wick candle appeared. The market collapsed following President Trump's executive order to increase trade taxes in response to China. Because I had transferred every single coin from spot into margin, I had no defense left. As the price of Link crashed to $7.90, the exchange didn't just close my long, it liquidated my entire life savings. It wasn't just Link. AAVE, SOL, AVAX. Every single position followed the same fate. In less than 15 minutes, my screen went white. Balance: zero. $100 evaporated. My fortress didn't collapse because of an external enemy. It collapsed because I personally pulled the bricks from the foundation. Spot: to patch a hole in a burning roof. Margin. Reflecting on it, I failed to react to the reality of the trade war. I was so blinded by my technical loop that I ignored the geopolitical macro trend. But ultimately, my failure was psychological. You can never predict the absolute top or bottom. This was actually my second wipeout. I lost a large amount in 2024 due to a short position as well. I thought this strategy solved it. Yet I failed again. I paid another $100 to learn this. There is no perfect defensive strategy if you still leave the door open for greed. Warren Buffett isn't old, his advice is the law of survival. Don't be the last fool by overestimating your technical loops. If you hold coins in spot, leave them there. Never use your armor as firewood for your margin. I hope my story saves $100 for someone watching this today.